Well, this is the worst game that you will play in 2018, and I know the year's only just started, but I am 100% confident in saying that because this game is such utter trash that it will not be beaten as the worst thing of the year, unfortunately, for me for having played it. It's called Briks 2, Briks 2, and as you can see, it's a Breakout clone. From this bit, you're probably not thinking it's looking too offensive, but let's just go over to this for a second, wait for this to load, and you're about to see just why it's so painful to play. Here we go, bam! Yep, that there is a cat with lasers shooting out of its eyes, and on top of all of that, it's got some psychedelic background going on, which I'm pretty sure will give some people some epileptic fits, so don't play this game if you happen to have epilepsy. The goal of the game is obviously, like any Breakout clone, to clear the level of the blocks, and that's basically it. Even if it wasn't so hideously ugly, it would still be basically a useless game to play because it doesn't control very well. I can't move that paddle that you see down there. It doesn't move anywhere near as precisely as it needs to. And yeah, then there's these boss things on the side there, the rainbow coloured cat thing. You also need to destroy those by hitting them a couple of times. And oh yes, when it's not throwing cats at you, psychedelic cats, it's also throwing at you anime boobs for absolutely no reason. There's no reason for that background. It's just there, I guess, because that way they've got something to throw onto the screenshots and to sell it to people who have nothing better to do with their time and money than buy this. Oh yeah, it's also quite expensive. It's about $30 Australian, so you can get, well, on the PlayStation Network you can get a half dozen games for the cost of this one, really. And then well, as you can see, there's a couple of different psychedelic cats. There's about 100 levels, I think, and the backgrounds range from the relatively inoffensive football one that you saw at the start through to these headache-inducing cats, through to the boobs for no reason anime girls, and then on top of that, it seems to be ripping off Hatsune Miku. I think the voice in this soundtrack, and I'll tune out for a second so you can hear it. I think it's Hatsune Miku that they've used, and if that's the case, that's another sin to add to this list of games because it's one of the worst uses of Miku's voice that I've ever come across as well. Either way, it's terrible, but let's just listen in for a second. So yeah, as you can tell, I mean, if it's not Hatsune Miku's voice, it's incredibly similar to it, and it's a terrible music anyway. This is the kind of game that you'll see on the PlayStation Network when you're really, really, really drunk and think to yourself, oh, hey, yeah, this will be good fun. You'll buy it and you'll regret it the minute you sober up, and that's a pretty shonky way to make money, I guess, if you're a game developer. But hey, I'm pretty sure that this game developer doesn't really care about quality or basic ethics or anything else, so yeah, I'm not surprised that they've come up with it. The thing that really gets me is obviously Sony has let this onto the PlayStation Network for whatever reason, and there are a lot of really worthy games that are finding it hard to get onto the PlayStation Network. There's a lot of developers that haven't got dev kits and have to go through Sony's processes and all that kind of stuff, and then somehow this game actually gets on there at $30 and is ripping people off for a game that's, you know, there's no quality in it whatsoever. Mobile phone shovelware free-to-play games are better than this. Breakout clones are everywhere, and again, you can get them free-to-play better quality than this. It's selling itself on a bunch of lies. The anime girls and all that kind of stuff would imply that there's something more to the game, but no, they really are just the background. And then there's the medical coma-inducing cat psychedelic nonsense as well. So there's nothing redeeming to this game. I don't know how it got onto the PlayStation Network, except that Sony doesn't always have that concern for quality that it claims it does. So definitely avoid this. Like I said, worst game of 2018 without a doubt. I'll have a review up on DDNet. I can guarantee you it will be a 0 out of 5. Thanks very much for listening.